Hey guys, it's been a while, so I wanted to give you a spring update. The dogs are having some fun in this weather. Hi. It's the first mow of the year, so they're all excited. So I wanted to show you what's going on with my trees. I got still some more projects that I'm doing over there to the side. And this is the blackberry row that we had talked about before. I've got in 7 different blackberries and of 4 different varieties, and I'm going to be seeing which ones of the thornless blackberries I like the best so I can propagate them when we go to the future house. So over here, this is my persimmon. This is my Fuyu persimmon tree, and it started leafing out just in the last couple of weeks. It's been doing really great. I'm excited. We're probably not going to get fruit this year, but I'm hoping that for next year we're going to have a whole bunch. So this is my Ozark Premier plum tree, Japanese plum tree, and you can tell that it needs some pruning. I'm letting it go this year and going to wait and prune it midsummer. So you can see, let's see if we get a few on here. There's a few little tiny fruit that are probably gonna fall off. Let's see. There's some little ones here, probably gonna fall off, but we'll see how we do. And so far, some of them are still staying green. I've gotten a little bigger. We're gonna see what happens. We're probably not gonna get it this year because, again, this is the first year we've had it here in the pot. So, and it's gonna get trimmed down a whole bunch midsummer. This one here is my Methley plum tree. It's another Japanese plums. All my plums are Japanese plums that cross-pollinate. This one didn't flower this year because it's young. It should be flowering next year. I take that back. It had one flower, one single flower on it. And we're going to cut it pretty short, and we're going to train these branches down here to be our producers. This one here, this one's my, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, I don't know if you call it the AU Rosa or the All Rosa. It is a variety that came from the Santa Rosa. They started cross-pollinating the Santa Rosa to have more disease resistance. So that's what this one is. It's supposed to taste a lot like a Santa Rosa, but with a lot more resistances. So we'll see how that one does. It flowered a decent amount. This one is self-pollinating, but it can pollinate also with the others. And I took a brush and pollinated between that and the Ozark Premier, because the Ozark Premier is not self-pollinating. So we'll see if either one has fruit. I see one up here. It's still little. Let's see if I can get it to, you can see it there in the center. We'll see if it holds on. There's been a few on there, and we'll see what it does. This one here is my Miho Satsuma. It just started flowering. Let's get those flowers in here. It just started flowering. We're gonna see how it does. And I'm tempted. My original goal was to put it in ground and winter protect it and see what we do. But I'm thinking that I'm going to be taking one of these branches off when I prune. Probably this one here. Probably this big branch here. I'm probably going to take off when I prune it, and I'm going to look at grafting and trying to age it up to put in the ground. Or maybe that's the one I'll keep. We'll see. So for this season, it's going to stay in a pot, and we're going to up pot it when we have enough room. Right now, I'm taking it between outside and the greenhouse because technically we have up to 3.5 weeks that we could have frost, even though right now the weather is saying that we're not going to. But that's what happened to me last year, and we got a freak frost in May, so we're going to be careful about that. Here's one of our 3 Russian pomegranates. We had a freeze around several days in the 60s, and then we had a hard freeze in the mid-20s. And I had already planted these guys outside, and its new growth had died back, but it's bounced back pretty well. This one's another Russian pomegranate. It did not bounce back nearly as well. It's got some leaves coming back down here. We will see how it does. These bigger branches haven't had anything come back. These are different cuttings from tea chamomile. This one's doing okay, those haven't. You'll see a project later, mid-late spring, on what's going on with those. And so these bricks, you may notice, are in different pots. My dogs are diggers, aren't you? You like to dig. You like to dig in things. And someone with little white paws thinks that she's helping because she sees me digging, and she decides to help and dig things too. She comes to me so proud. Whenever she's embarrassed of something, she won't make eye contact and she'll stay away from you. She'll jump right up at me with her little blackened paws. So proud of the work she's done. This one's a third Russian pomegranate. I'm gonna need to shift that around to where it's not right there against part of my AC unit. So I'm gonna be rotating it to where it comes out this way. And back there is a cutting from a red mulberry that I just stuck in that giant fabric pot, and I'm gonna be pulling it out later into another small pot, because I've decided I have a lot of red mulberry cuttings, and I'm gonna start giving them away to people I know. So we're actually gonna dig him back up and give it to somebody who's gonna put it in their yard. I have a lot of junk back there. I have spare greenhouse panels. You can see my beautiful insulation job there and how I keep my solar panels on with zip ties. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I've got some spare stuff in the back there. Going over to the greenhouse, like I said, I have a bunch of diggers, so I put this in front of the door when I want to keep the door open so they don't go in and dig, because someone has helped in the greenhouse before, didn't you? So we'll go in here real quick. This one is a limequat. It's flowering heavily, but I don't know if any of the fruit have actually set. I don't think it likes it in the greenhouse, and it's in a tiny pot. This is a much bigger limequat. It's got a couple of fruit on it, and it's blooming pretty heavily. Here is my first lemon tree I had, my Meyer lemon. Doing pretty well, set a few fruit. This is a dragon cayenne that I cut back during the winter and kept in this fabric pot down here. And it has come back with a fury and is already setting fruit. This here is my variegated pink Eureka lemon, and there's a wasp in here and I'm terrified. We will ignore the wasp and maybe he'll ignore us. So there is one of them. When they come out, they're going to be striped, so I'm excited to show you guys this. The reason I have limequats is because this guy here is my bear's lime, and you can see he loses a lot of leaves and keeps them all at the bottom, and he just looks sickly all the time no matter what I do. It's given me quite a few limes, but it just always looks terrible, so we're gonna see what happens. This back here is my variegated centennial kumquat, and it's gonna go in the ground. Again, I'm in zone 7A, so I'm really pushing it. Really, zone 8's the limit of what you should be doing. That's one of my tea camellia. I can never say that word right. Back there is one of my bay trees. There's another one over there. Use that a lot in cooking. That one's my Barbados cherry. It hasn't put off a lot of fresh growth, and my other Barbados cherry actually died during the year. There's several zucchini that I have that I'm probably going to give half of those away, because the other half, you can see empty spots in there. I actually took them out. I'm going to be planting them later. This is my first satsuma that I got over the summer, and it is already flowering and setting fruit. This is my Owari satsuma. It's doing really well. Over here, that's some ghost peppers that I had grown together in a pot and braided them together. I don't know if you can see the braid back there. And they're leafing out. These are different flower seeds that I just kept in here some old things from last winter. That is the prickly pear. It's putting out a new pad. I'm really excited for that. This here is a Violette de Bordeaux fig. So we're gonna see how it does. Let's see here. Here's my fun setup with a bunch of tomatoes, a bunch of, you can see a ton of okra, different peppers, more tomatoes. Over here are different melons, even though not all of them have come up yet. In fact, last I checked, the only ones that had come up so far are the cantaloupe. Yeah, that still seems to be the case. So we'll see if the others have made it. Over here, this is my Tabasco pepper that I had cut back, and you can see it's leafing out again. I need to cut some dead branches off, like this one here. Here's a few things I tossed together. This is my strawberry that's coming back. That was just one of those baskets you can buy at Home Depot. This is my white sage, the sacred white sage. I need to pot it up. I bought it last fall and never got it up potted, so I'm going to be doing that this year. It can't live outside in our winters, so it's going to be coming back in here. This is a pepper that I've not had before, so I just got it from Home Depot to try it out as one of mine. You can see my black mulberry is fruiting, and he's come back for the year, so he's growing. This is a laced up elderberry. It's going to be going out in the yard. You're going to get to see me put him up soon. And this is a jalapeno, and I'm also growing more jalapenos. So that's one that I'd cut back for the summer. Let's go over to the side yard. Oh, actually, let's go over here to the peach tree first. Hey, puppy. What you doing? How you doing, Jack Jack? Alright, this is the tub first of potatoes. And last year I kept some left over in the tub. What I do, I put out a tarp out here and I turn it over and I dump it out and I pull all the potatoes out and I put dirt back in, put a little more dirt in, and leave some potatoes in. So we're going to see if any of them come up, even though I think this here and here, we're getting some pop through already. So we're gonna see if anything comes up. Over here, this is my Blaze Prince peach, and you can tell I haven't done any pruning. I got it from Home Depot. I planted it a year ago just to see what it would do back here. And let's see. We got a few peaches coming on. Some are getting pretty good size. They already dropped off last year at this point, so I'm excited. So we'll see if we get any peaches this year. I don't plan on spraying anything, so we'll find out if I get it or not. I'm trying to naturalize this super shady part of the yard. You'll see that I got sort of a fence thing that goes before the wooden fence, and I sort of throw leftover pieces of wood and stuff back there. And then in front of it, I've put in some bulbs. I put in a few hostas, however you say that. And then I've got some things that are more natural planted underneath this clay. Not everything's come up, so we're gonna see. You can tell he just walks straight over it. You can see how beat up these poor little guys are. And then I had a lot of daffodils. I'm excited. A bunch of daffodils came up. And I'm going to show you from a local plant charity. They have several local, native, there we go, native shade plants that I've got back here. There's a hosta that's actually doing well. I've got some ferns and some other naturalized things, native things back in here that I've got. Once these daffodils leave, they're going to take over. So this is all going to be sort of naturalized. And I got a shade-loving bush that last year did terrible, but it's actually put on a lot of growth so far this year. And these are my pawpaw trees. Now, they say you can't grow them well in pots, so we're gonna see. They're fighting over their frisbee. So you got your frisbee. You tell him you've had that frisbee longer than he's been alive. So over here you're gonna see some trash that I still have to pick up. I use some of these bags. I got some plants in the mail, and then some of these cups are what I grow sprouts in. So I'm trying raspberries for the first time back here. I'm excited to try that. We have strawberries over here that are coming up. This is a silky dogwood that I put in a tiny pot. It's tiny down there. It's like shy of probably 3 gallons. And it's leafing out. We'll see what it does. It tried last year to send a ton of roots below through the pot. So we're just gonna see if it makes it or not. I don't have any good place for it. These are all going to be my zucchini. I'm about to be planting those shortly. In one of these barrels, I had a blackberry. So I pulled it out and I've got it over here in this bag. And you can see it leafing out. My plan is to give it to one of my coworkers. Here is one of my other elderberries. I lost the word for it. This is my poor little red mulberry. It leafed out and then we had that hard frost and it died back, but it's coming back. You can see these leaves coming back in. So he's bouncing back. He started a little early. We got some garlic and some other things in here. Some old herbs that didn't do well here. We're gonna pull those out. I'm gonna leave that oregano in. Back there is all lemon balm, and then over there at the end is mint. I like to smell lemon balm. Here we have my lavender plant that's several years old. Through here we have sweet peas that if they don't start producing in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be too late for them. They're going to get turned back into the dirt, and then a week later I'm going to be planting tomatoes in this 12-foot long bed. And these garlic are going to get pulled out, chopped up, dried, and we're going to make garlic powder. Let's see. I'm about to be filling up these fabric bags back here. These are both going to be okra. The big dump truck coming by. These are both going to be okra, and they're going to grow up big, and we're going to have lots of okra plants. Last year I had these exact pots. We'll see it when I get to the end. And I put 3 okra in it because I saw, who was it? California Gardening that did the 3 okra in 1 pot and harvest off of it. And 2 of mine didn't do well and 1 did great. So I'm going to actually do 1 in each pot this year and see what the difference is. I gave another okra last year to my parents, and they put it in their mushroom dirt. They get a load each year from a local mushroom facility, and theirs was an okra tree. It was over 15 foot tall, multiple branches coming off. Oh, it was crazy. It was nuts to have that much off of 1 okra plant. Here is a Celeste fig that I saw on sale, and we're gonna see how it does. It leafed out and then we had that frost and its leaves died back, but I'm seeing a little greenery coming from it now, so we'll see. These are going to be the only sweet peas that will produce anything, so I'm going to let them just go in there. Here's more strawberries. I have strawberries lining this bed over halfway through. This side gets the most sun, so they've gotten big. You can see they're already blooming in there. They're doing great. There's also multiple varieties, so this might be some kind of bigger, earlier producing variety. We'll see. These are my blackberries. They've gotten massive. I've had a couple of blooms already, but they were trying a little hard, a little early. This branch snapped off a little. I'm gonna go ahead and yank it out and just stick them in the dirt. They can't always grow new branches, but sometimes they do. So, excuse me, grow roots off of their branches, but we'll see. The easiest thing to do if you ever want to root a blackberry, you can find several videos on this from other people, but you'd take this branch and you'd bury this whole end there that I just gripped in dirt, and branches will start to turn around and grow up. Once you have it like flipped around, it'll start to grow up, and these end bits will become the root system. So you can look it up on YouTube. Others have some really good videos on it, and right now I just don't have anywhere to put any, so I can't really be rooting blackberries all the time. But that's going to be the goal of my thornless blackberry plants in the side yard, is deciding which varieties do I want to take to our next house whenever we move, which is going to be years from now. There is a drip irrigation system that's underneath all of these plants that you see come up here. I had pulled it up for some other reasons over the winter to put in these poles here. I got some lettuce seedlings going on. We're going to be leaving this garlic to go all the way until July. These were 2 figs. This one died. It just didn't make it through the winter. It was a baby, it didn't make it. This is a Violette de Bordeaux, and it's still green, but its leaves here died back in that frost. We're going to see if anything happens, and if he doesn't make it, then we're going to put that other one in. So we're going to see. This here is a trifoliate orange. It's an orange that can make it to zone 5, and so far it's done very well. Sorry, our neighbor dog is friends with our dog. I'm amazed we went this long without them barking like crazy. So yeah, you can see it's kind of a mess. I need to put the drip irrigation system out, but I'm waiting until I turn all that dirt back in, and when I turn the dirt in, that's when I'm going to put the amendments in and give it a week, and then put in my plants. So these are going to be looped through when I do that. It's going to loop both of these containers and go through. So the plan is this is still going to contain a Violette de Bordeaux fig. That's actually going to be an edible hibiscus this year. I have it on the way. I couldn't get my seeds to sprout. But I have a plant on the way. And this one here is a second red mulberry. You can see the little dots of green along it. It's coming back out. Over here, this is pineapple or apple mint. And this one's variegated, this one's unvariegated. I have a little baby that made it from last year. This is a strawberry mint. This one's julep mint. That one's a chocolate mint. And this is a lot of mint to put in one container like this, but the idea was to help keep it under control. These are some herbs that have been down here for years. Over there is an Italian oregano. This is a lemon thyme that has been in here for 3 years. This one here is a Corsican, is that it? Corsican mint. If you ever get one, I really recommend it. These tiny leaves, I mean, you can see how tiny they are. I put my finger next to it. And they pack a punch of mint in there. They're really good. So here's the apple orchard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apples. This one here is an Arkansas Black. It's going to be a standard tree that is going to get pretty big, and it gives you dark red, almost black apples, and they're not good to eat immediately. They're good for cooking, and you keep them for many months. You store them, and they get sweeter as you store them, but you use them for cooking and for other things. That one there is a Scarlet Sentinel apple. It grows like a spear up to the sky, and it puts off these leaves off of little tiny branches it makes off the trunk. So this one, so that one was a Scarlet Sentinel. This one's a North Pole, very similar, does similar thing. This one's called, this is another columnar. This one's a tingly green or urban apple, and it was a little older when I got it. We'll see if it flowers or not. It probably won't, and then it'll probably be next year before any of these flower, but we'll see. We'll see. This one's a golden sentinel, and that one's another scarlet sentinel. The nursery I used sent me two on accident. They sent me a message saying, "Did you receive your tree?" And I answered them and I said, "Yes, I did receive it. Thank you. It came back in good condition." And then they sent me another one. So I've got two of them. I actually offered one to a coworker, but it took a while for us to get together, and then I didn't want it to die, so I wound up putting it in a pot already. So I got 6 apple trees now. Over here, this is going to be going up this here, all the way up. This is going to be a Sweet 100 cherry tomato. That's what's going to be in each of these 3 bigger pots. And these smaller pots here are different cuttings of willow trees that were made. And my fiance wants to bonsai some willow trees and see how they look. So we'll see what happens. They're growing pretty well from the cuttings. Not all of them made it. I don't think this guy made it. It's okay. These two made it, and I actually have another one that's a corkscrew that's really good. It like bends around. It's pretty cool. This one here is a Cherokee purple, and we're going to, I went ahead and put them in here just to see what happened. This is way before our last frost date. The weather's saying it's going to be fine. We're going to see how it makes it, and we're just going to trellis it all the way up. That over there, that whole thing's going to be tomatoes until we get to the thornless blackberries over there. And then I'm fighting with myself on whether or not I'm going to do beans. I was going to do a lot of beans, and then I realized I cook way more with tomatoes than I do with beans. It's really hard when beans are so easy to get in the store, and tomatoes do not taste good from the store. I'm fighting with myself. If I don't grow anything on the fence this year, the stuff in the garden will get a lot more sun. So I'm fighting with myself over it. We'll see. Because if I grow beans, I do have this little thing where it can make a little tunnel. We'll see. I'm gonna find out over time. Here are my tulips that came up. We just had a storm that blew off a lot of their petals. I put in a lot of seeds. So this is going to be California poppies. Some have already come up. That's all going to be milkweed for the butterflies. That's back there. It's going to be sunflowers. I got mammoths. Mammoths, last year I had some. I need to put some pictures together. Let me get out of the sun. I need to put some pictures together where... Oh good, the sun's going behind a cloud. We can get over here. I grew some that got to that window up there. I gotta pull out pictures of it. They would fall over onto the trellis system over there in the center and make a tunnel. But if you pushed it all the way up, if you reached out of that window, you could touch the flower. It was crazy. So we're gonna have some of those back there. We're only gonna put 3. That's gonna keep them from falling over. We're going to put some other sunflowers, smaller ones, in front of them. We're going to put more pollinator plants through here. Those are the purple cone flowers that came up from last year. So they're going to come back up. These are more of my, I'll never say it right, my tea plants that you make black and green tea from. That's a rosemary. Those tea plants are going to come through here. That little bird box already has some baby birds in it. We're not going to disturb them today. We have some plants that I'm about to be planting later today right there. And this is my new version of the herb garden. So I love lavender, so I'm going to have 4 lavender plants every so often. Parsley. We're going to have and that sign is messed up. I misspelled it terribly. Edelweiss, if that's how I say it. We have 9 chamomiles down here that have all done excellent. More lavender. In between it, we're going to have hyssop, the official one, not the anise hyssop. We're going to have basil in between those, toothache herb. We'll go over that whenever it's growing up. It's a very interesting plant. We're going to have borage, which I already have sprouting in the greenhouse. We have lovage, lime thyme, lemon thyme, garlic chives, oregano, regular chives, German thyme, English thyme. We have calendula that has already been planted down in there, just time for it to come up soon. We have a St. John's wort that looks so sad right now. We'll see. We're supposed to get rain in the next few days. We'll see. And we're going to have more calendula. That's a winter savory that I need to plant. There's French tarragon, more toothache herb, more lavender. We're going to have feverfew, which I have is sprouting up in the greenhouse right now. Basil, a lemon bergamot, which I have sprouting again. Basil, lavender. Here we have garden sage that is left over from last year. Cilantro, which seems to be struggling in this sun. We might have to pull them up and pot them somewhere else. Over here, we're going to have yarrow. They're babies. I don't know if they're going to make it right now. We're going to see. I have purple coneflower planted throughout. You can probably see the green coming up. And we're going to have poppies. That's rosemary there. And on the other side there, I need to do some weeding. Right over there, we have another bay tree. We're going to see if we can get it going in our weather. Let me take you to go see this blackberries up close. See, we have stuff for our projects going on over here. Those are native plants we're going to be putting in. So over here we have a triple crown blackberry, an Arapaho, blackberry. There's a Navajo blackberry. We're going to put an Apache blackberry here. It currently is tiny in the greenhouse. Here's another triple crown, an Arapaho again, a Navajo, and this is a leftover blackberry that I had. That was the first one that I bought, and its tag is long gone. I'm pretty sure it's either an Apache or a triple crown. So we're gonna find which one of those that is. And we are back to this gate. Hi, puppies. I know. Hey, let's not fight. Let's not fight over Mommy's attention, okay? So this is a 4x4 bed that I started with in this house. And right now you can see there's daffodils in each corner. I'm going to be putting perennial leeks in here. They're multiplier leeks. They do it like bunching onions. They keep splitting. And I'm going to keep this going as a leek bed. And we're going to see how that works and how well it does. So that's going to be a little experiment that we have here. Back there, I'm going to put a hardy kiwi. Right now it's in a little pot. I got that little gate so they won't dig it up. I'm going to dig it into the ground and let it take over this fence area. Right back here, I'm going to put one of my elderberries there. I'm going to mulch this area and put an elderberry here on the other side of the gates so that we can get some elderberries. Hopefully we'll get pretty far in that. So that is where everything is at. This is, what is today, puppies? Is this April 9th? I think this is April 9th. We don't really keep track of days too well when we're at home, do we? No, hi. So thank you for visiting our garden. My puppies are wanting to get into the hammock with me. Hi, Jack Jack. Hi, Jack Jack. Hi, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? So thank you guys for coming to visit my garden. You guys have a good day.